Hi, guys. You're so cute. Thank you, honey. That was sweet of you. All right. I see everybody logging in. Hello, hello. Everybody on YouTube. Thank you for joining. I love seeing you all. Please. Hi, guys. Oh, apologize about that one. Let me put this in quiet. You're so cute. Okay. Thank you, honey. That was sweet of you. All right. I see everybody logging in. Hello, hello, everybody. There we go. All right. Let's see who else we got in here. It's just me and you right now, Joe. And a few people on the YouTube channel. So welcome to everybody who's joining in. I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes here. I am so happy to see everyone. I've got there's a topic tonight that actually is, hi, Stacia, kisses. So those of you on YouTube's, I love it when you guys throw me just a hi or a wave. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, everyone. Thank you for saying hi, just so I can see you. I love it. And we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. I just wanted to make sure everybody is live and seeing the feed. All right. I love it. Okay. So I'm gonna, like I said, give a couple more minutes here. We are kind of right on the hour of 6, but I'm gonna give a few more people some time to log in. And as soon as I get the rest of the logins here, I'm gonna get started because we have a topic tonight that most people have been, it's funny, you ask me questions like what's going on, and I find it funny because you know, your soul, your energy, you pick it up. You can feel that something is happening. You can feel that something's going on, right? And what's fascinating to me is that you can feel it, yet you just don't know. And then I start catching on to these patterns, and everybody starts feeling the fact that the planets in the sky are making us a little bit goofy. And they are definitely making us goofy. And I don't mean goofy negative, I mean goofy positive, but I know a lot of people just don't like not feeling well. They don't like feeling emotions. They don't feel like feeling things that kind of trigger them. I, for one, do not like it at all. You can ask my husband, he will tell you I am the worst with emotions, and it doesn't make me exempt, and it doesn't make any of you guys exempt for the experience. It just means we have to experience, and we have to have the experience. And sometimes we get experiences we don't like. Often, I should say, we get experiences we don't like, right? So I'm going to get started. It is like about a minute after the hour. Typically, I give everybody a few minutes to get logged in here, and I know they're all going to start logging in. I see as few of you are on the Zoom call right now, and if people keep popping in, what I want to remind you on tonight is I did not log in a live call specifically. I was going to open the floor this evening, I should say, to either text questions and or anyone who wants to go live with me on the Zoom. I'll just patch you in, and we'll go live. So if at the end of this you have a question, or there's discussions or topics that you're like, yeah, I want to know, I want to talk to Dawn about this, I'm just going to pull you up live and we're going to have a discussion about it. Okay. So those of you who are new, I'm Daunethompson. Welcome to the Truth Tribe. Those of you who are returning, it's so great to see all of you. I love seeing so many of you on the call. So we're going to dive into topics tonight right away, very quickly. And as you all know, questions, just type them into the chat and I will throw them out there as fast as I can, or see where we're going and what I can do to kind of answer them almost as we go. All right. And so tonight's discussion, I threw out 2 things. There are 6 planets in retrograde, which I'm going to start with because I know that is what everybody is feeling right now. And the other topic was polarizing pulverizes your authentic self. And I cannot be more clear about that. So first and foremost, I want to start with a huge hug to all of you and let you know I love you all very much. And the reason is because I'm usually share my hugs and my love at the end. The energy is getting intense and wonky right now. And if you are struggling in any way, the tenseness, the pressure, the changes, they are, I know it sounds difficult to understand this, but they're benefiting you. The pain is in some way benefiting you. And so when difficult things are showing up, just know that I'm sending you virtual hugs and love from the 10,000 foot viewpoint, sending you light and love, and hopefully a little understanding tonight is what's gonna, you know, of what's going on in the world and the planets, I should say, and the grid, that can help the transformation for all of you become a little bit easier. So that's my goal, okay? So I always begin with sharing with you the 10,000, my observation from the 10,000 viewpoint from the grid. And I kind of leave the planet, look down, and I kind of take the waves of patterns of energy that are repeating, and I try to see what's showing up, right? What is happening? And the patterns that are surfacing are strained relationships and authenticity. Those are the two things that showed up. So if you're struggling in your truth in any way, what this energy swirling around on the planet is, this is what it's doing, right? And so what it's going to do is going to put pressure on you, and you're going to have a harder time, even more so than you've been dealing with up to this point. Not hard, difficult, but like you're gonna feel it, right? And so Wednesday, I'm gonna get into all the planets in a minute. Wednesday is Mercury retrograde beginning. And so those of you who've been feeling it, you've been feeling the shadow effect, right? We always have a shadow effect before the actual event. All right. And so with 6 planets in retrograde, Sunday is Father's Day, and it's a solar eclipse, pressuring you to illuminate light to see your darkness and then release it. So it's not others' darkness that you need to be looking at anymore. And that's what these planets are doing. It's your own darkness. That's what's being asked to be looked at. All right. Your level of work that you've been doing on you is going to reveal your shadows at some level. All right. So if you've been doing work on you, and you've been doing, you know, work on who you are, the extreme emotions like surfacing right now, they're not going to be as intense as if you've neglected doing the inner digging. You're going to feel it. It's kind of what I've been trying to explain. So this journey is always about you, and only you, right? And it always will be so. So remember that. So it's up to you to grab it and run for the sun. I try to teach that a lot, right? So let's talk about what the planetary shift is doing, all right? And what it's revealing in your vibration. So what it's revealing is your shadows and incomplete karma. We've talked about this in the past, but that's what's happening. So it's revealing what you have to complete. All right, and so normally I don't break down dates. I know you all know I use astrology in my coaching and training and teaching. And it's too much to share. I don't like doing astrology on dates and timing, but tonight's your lucky night. I'm going to share the dates and the planets because this is kind of a historical time right now, and not to mention it would be just frustrating for all of you wondering what's going on. So this is how it's going to appear and then dissolve out away from us in the coming months, okay? And when it will end, because that's mostly what people want to know is, when is this going to stop, right? And so I'm going on the optimistic route. I don't know why my internet's being a little jiggy right now. So if that's what you're all seeing, believe me, I'm seeing it too. And there's not much I can do. I just want to make sure you guys know we're just going to roll with it. It's Mercury retrograde in 2 days. So each one of these planets is going to show its potent energy, and then it's going to slow its roll, and it's going to move forward again. Okay. So this is what's going on. Let me give you the dates. Mercury retrograde. It starts on Wednesday, the 17th of June, and goes through July 12th. And what Mercury retrograde does, and to give you the basics on everything, that's all I'm giving tonight. Miscommunications and contracts need to be completely reset. If you have miscommunication, reset, rediscuss it, start over again. It's asking you basically, Mercury retrograde during this retrograde window is to pause and rethink things times two. Okay, that's the Mercury retrograde. And it's really just saying, please slow down and rethink what you're doing or saying or acting, whatever's coming out of you. Next retrograde. So we got 6 planets, guys. Okay, starting Wednesday. Venus is already retrograde right now, and it will retrograde until, it's been retrograding, and it will retrograde until June 25th. It's reflection of love and money and relationships. So those of you, when a planet goes backwards, always think that we're being asked to look to the back, look to the past. So relationships might get a little wonky or have been or strained because we're wanting to heal or change or improve. All right. So when you look back, you go, that's not what I wanted. Well, it's easy to fix and change and improve and grow. Okay. So then on Sunday, Father's Day, is a solar eclipse. So a solar eclipse, you all know how this works. Here's the sun, and then the moon comes in front of it and covers it up for a little bit. So the sun wants us to shine our light. And the question of the solar eclipse is, where are you not being authentic, right? Where are you trying to cover up your light? So that's where the sun's going to open that up, a good thing. Then we move ourselves into September. Okay, so those are going to sit for a little while. And Saturn has been retrograde for a while already. It's going to end September 29th. Saturn is the lessons from the sheriff. Basically, it's saying, look, you have some hard lessons to learn. What cracks in your foundations are you avoiding? That's what it's asking. Okay, and if you have cracks, it will reveal them. So my answer is just look at them and let's fill them up. Next planet. It's retrograding right now, one of the 4. Again, there's 2 more going retrograde, and that's why we'll have 6. Next planet going out of retrograde, but it's still in retrograde right now, is Jupiter. Jupiter goes out September 12th. Jupiter rules beliefs, opportunities, excitement, expansion. Well, if you have expanded beliefs that aren't good, it's time to change that, right? So what old beliefs that may be from even generations of teaching that you need to change and let go, that they just don't serve this new futuristic, empowered kind of lifestyle and technology life. They don't fit anymore. The 60s, 70s, 80s, they don't fit now for 2020. So you have to think of it that way. That's what Jupiter wants. Next, Neptune is going, and I want to say in 2 weeks, it will go retrograde. I apologize, I got the date off, but I know the starting point isn't going to be a big deal because it will be all 6 of us in a week, maybe. I got to get that date, but no big deal. It will be retrograde until November 28th. What is Neptune? What decisions are you making that seem like illusions? Like, God, isn't that wonderful? It's a wonderful, oh, I think I'm going to make a decision. Oh, see what I saw? That's got to be true. See what I think? Oh, that's not. And we're having these illusions. We're not coming to a specific reality check on things. It's asking us to recheck and not get delusional about things. So where can you be more creative and not get into illusions of what the external is trying to share? It's not your journey. And last but not least, number 6 is Pluto. And Pluto will be going out of retrograde October 6th. So Pluto rules death and regeneration, which is exactly what you're watching on the planet right now. And it's what it's doing. It's doing what it's meant to do. It's crumbling old structures. Now, some things don't need to be crumbled, but we get confused. What is it? What do we let go of? What we not let go of? And it's not about us. It's always about, external is not about us. It's always about internal. What do we need to let go of? Some people don't know how to decipher the two, and they think they have to fix out there, so in here will be better, and it doesn't work that way. So guys, 6 planets looking backwards, they're trying to get your attention. If you look backwards and you say, oh yeah, that and that and that, and ooh, that hurts, or that upsets me, or that, just a memory is popping up. Doesn't have to be any, that's what I was telling you, doesn't have to be anything terribly bad. Just a memory is popping up and you're like, wow, I just don't like that. Okay, let it go and change your belief and change your thought and change your pattern. That is what is going on here. And if you avoid it, it's not going to be fun. So I'm going to push those into, if you know, looking at retrogrades means energy taking us to look backwards. So once they reset and go forward, they're going to catapult us forward again. And we're going to go, cool, I made good choices. I healed good things. I refilled my soul so I could move forward again. That's what it's trying to do. So polarizing, here are the polar opposites, pulverizes your authentic self. What does that mean? So what I really important for you all to understand is there are no sides, guys, and you are all here as a puzzle piece, one little puzzle piece to be a part of this collective oneness, right? So here's the planet, and every one of you has a piece in this puzzle. But when we get programmed, which is what's happening out there, we're like, no, that wouldn't happen. When you get programmed out of your oneness, out of your amazingness, we start getting pulled into someone else's, and that's when we don't feel good. That's why the planets are saying, can we just look at you? Just focus on you. That's all I'm asking you to do. Okay, so that's what's happening. So many people are struggling to understand neutrality and compassion, which is where I keep trying to pull you back into instead of this polarizing effect, okay? So what this means is basically both viewpoints, both opposites are okay, right? I just don't need to entertain the extremes. That's where I'm trying to get you guys to open your mind. The question is, are you stuck entertaining your polar opposite, or are you trying to sell your side as the right side? There's no sides. I know this is hard to wrap your brain around, but I'm trying to get you to understand what the universe is forcing us all to do. Okay, and so it's hard because you can look outside and go, oh, that's not probably a good place to be. That's not really what it's trying to do. Okay, so this isn't a thing for me. I know it seems that way to some people, but it's really not. If you want to be a jerk, okay. If you want to be sad or angry, okay. If you want to make poor choices, that's super okay, right? I accept you right there, and I will be right here, and I will always be in neutral. And if you have a heavy past, guys, of victimhood, you're going to feel this heaviness of victimhood right now that's going on in the world, because it's going to trigger you, right? Of course it is. And if you have a heavy passive criticism, you're going to feel it because it's getting you awake. So that's why I don't look at any of this stuff as negative. I kind of go, wow, yeah, it's probably not, things you want to happen, but nothing is an accident, especially if you look for a divine source and you look to a higher consciousness. Nothing's an accident. It's all in this perfect fabric of a blueprint of a puzzle piece, and each puzzle fits in its space. Okay, and so you're gonna feel this. Why are we gonna feel it? To finally complete it, right? How do you ask, Dawn? How am I supposed to complete this? Do more of what you dislike. And I know people don't like that answer. Every time I tell them that, like, I don't want to do that. I don't either. I am literally with all of you. I don't want to do it either. I was just whining to my husband, and I'm telling you guys, poor guy, he takes a beating, and he's amazing. I want you to understand, authenticity will surface in one or many of your relationships, and it's on each of you to step up, whether it's work, your spouse, your friends, your kids, your neighbors, your clients, whoever, okay? They're going to push you to go neutral and own your life, not their life. I know they may come to you and say, fix my life. You can't. You can be the lighthouse, as we've talked about before. You can be, this is what it takes to be happy and content and neutral, but you can't fix someone. It's hard, unless you have children. Again, then you have a little bit more interaction of developing a pattern and a disciplined mindset of thinking bigger. But that's hard because, again, remember, our interaction changes at about 9 or 10 years old. That's it. After that, they're on their own, on their journey, and now it's you to just be the light. So relationships are being strained right now because we're all feeling like we need to agree to others' levels of consciousness in order to accept them in our lives, right? And we're all seeing ourselves get so emotionally triggered, and it's pulling us into basically the original state of that experience in your life. And then it's getting us stuck in that extreme emotion without addressing it from any realistic point of view. I get really passionate about this because I want you to think about an emotional scene that you've all seen or recently watched on your TV or social media or anything. Okay. And now what feeling does that trigger for you? Now close your eyes and think about it. You saw it, you felt something, and think about a time when you were small and you felt that same feeling. That's what all this chaos and angriness and criticism or resentment is all triggering in all of us. And we're like, oh, and I think it's right now, and it's triggering 6 planets pulling us backwards. So the universe is kind of clever this way, right? It's super clever, and I think it's phenomenal. But authenticity and truth are surfacing right now. And so my answer and question to all of you on this is, what is your truth? What is true for you? And if you're not practicing what you preach, you will feel discord or non-resonance. We talked about this a little bit, I think, in one of the calls, right? So if you pull the D chord on a guitar, and then on a different guitar in the same room, you pull C, they're going to resonate at a different frequency and they sound different. Okay. So your voice is the D chord, saying a sound, hearing a sound, right? I'm confident, I'm strong, I'm loving, I'm happy, I'm joyful, but your body or your action is expressing the C chord of victim and insecurity and fear and criticism and whatever. It's not going to resonate within yourself, and it won't resonate with others at the same D chord resonance. It's not going to resonate with them either, right? Is it wrong? No vibration is wrong. Please hear me. I know people are like, that's bad, and we're criticizing people for life, and it's only because it's visual. If you didn't know it, you wouldn't know. You'd be focused back in here. And so it's no vibration is wrong. And we did this map of consciousness. Remember, if you all want the map of consciousness, it's on my website. Just go to ideserveitnow.com or myname.com and go to tools and Dawn's tools. It's in there. I pulled it up for you all. So if you want to see the consciousness again below all those low frequencies, that's what happens. So if you fake yourself into believing that you can neglect your own frequency on this path of ascension and higher consciousness, you're fooling no one. And that's what I'm getting with my guides, my intent. When I go into my meditative journaling and I ask for guidance of what we need to talk about, that's what's coming up. So let's say that D is the power above the 200 line on the grid, and C is force down here. And you are going to feel like you're forcing others if you're focusing down there instead of empowering them. So if you're like, no, I'm going to tell you I'm angry about this and you need to be angry, this is a bad thing, it feels like they're forcing you to be angry too when you're not, if you're resonating in power, right? And so lighting their way instead of pushing people's way, it's frequency, you guys. There's nothing more I can explain to this, but other than this is all frequency that you're watching. And those in low frequencies are in low frequencies. You can't go, hey, by the way, I think you're a bad person because you're shaming right now, or you're guilty right now, or you're grieving, or you're angry, or you're hating. That's just their frequency. So you can either, they can say, hey, can you show me how to be in a higher frequency? Or they can leave you alone and you can leave them alone. Neutrality. I know, it's crazy. It's a crazy thought. I get it, but that's the goal, right? So I want you now, if you go within and you're telling others to be like, let's just say love, kindness, and compassion, and you're not resonating at that frequency or consciousness level, it's going to come across as inauthentic. And that's the pulverizing I'm talking about. So basically the word that many are using right now is, wow, they're being a fraud. I don't think we need to name call people or hurt people. That's just, you're not coming out as your authentic self, right? And if it's not authentic and you're hiding behind technology, which most people are, it's going to surface organically and you're going to get called out and you're not going to like it. And then people are calling other people out and they're trying to argue about things and they don't know why. And the answer is if you're not being authentic, that's why. So this is happening often, and I see it with those who preach, but they aren't practicing the actions that they preach. I've seen it several, actually celebrity level people In the self-help world, I really focus on that in that world. And it's shown, right? And so I call it truth technology, right? And so even digitally, you can feel the vibration of something that is a low vibration, and then you can feel the vibration of something that is a high vibration and standing in its power, right? You can just feel it. You don't need to tell someone, hey, you need to think this is bad. I mean, you can feel it, or you can go, wow, that was beautiful. You can feel the love, the optimism, the forgiveness, the the understanding, the acceptance, the allowing. You can feel it. And so you're seeing many people surfacing in life saying, hey, I used to tell you I was one thing, right? And now I'm telling you I'm this thing. And I really don't want to be any of those things. So now I'm not sure of anything. Anybody experiencing that? Like, seriously, I'm watching it all the time. And why is that happening? Because they're looking out here. And then you, when your eyes, you're looking from your ego, which is the mind, and you're looking out here to kind of get the answer. And then you got all the planets and the energy pulling you back there. You think it might be a tricky spot? Yeah, it's getting kind of tricky. And that's making everyone uncomfortable. So relationships, many of you might be experiencing or watching, right, are being strained right now because we're all feeling that we need to agree with others at their level of consciousness in order to be there, right? And it's okay. So we're seeing ourselves get emotionally triggered, and it's pulling us into that original experience I was talking about, all right, that when we were a child. So I want you to start asking, okay? I want you all to start asking yourself, is this emotion true for me right now? And does it affect me right now? Again, ask yourself, is this emotion that I'm feeling true for me right now? And does it affect me right now? Then I want you to think about the emotional scene that you just watched on your TV or social media, and what feeling, write it down if you have to, did it trigger? And then close your eyes, and I want you to think about it again when you were small, when you felt that same feeling. How old were you? Okay? Because here's the thing. Most of us are addressing the world right now as 5 and 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. We're getting triggered. It's taking us back to that moment in time. It's pushing us down below the consciousness level. It's making us uncomfortable. And then we're reacting to other people as children fighting in the sandbox. It's not even logical, because the emotion it triggered is not from now. You're bigger, you're brighter, you guys are amazing, more beautiful than this. You're way more powerful than this. So here's the thing I want you all to remember. There is no level of consciousness that is better or worse. It's simply where you are. Okay? And so whatever you're watching, that's where it is. And so if you're in a low vibration of guilt and apathy, and someone, get ready, if they're trying to bring you up to love and understanding, it's going to feel polarized over here and totally uncomfortable for you at that moment. Guaranteed, right? And if you are in a, let's just say in a above in the power state of consciousness, and you're feeling neutral and optimistic, and let's just say, understanding of people, it's going to feel just as miserable to watch others down below in grief and despair at that moment, because you want them to feel what you feel and resonate where you resonate at your D string, and you need the C string to sound that way. It won't. So neither consciousness is right. And deciding that they're wrong is what will create this polarized effect between you and them, instead of just simply allowing. And I'm getting comments. Yeah, this is very challenging. I'm not telling you all to be master bosses. Like, this is not going to happen overnight, but it's something to be aware of so that you're not getting pulled in. If 5 of you on this call make the shift, that's 5 more that are shifting for 5 more, that's 5 more, and it blankets, and you all fit your puzzle piece back into this collectiveness. Because remember, we are all one. As much as we don't want to admit and see that even the challenges in life, none of you are exempt. So they're gonna surface. And so authentic, anything that is inauthentic right now, at any level, remember I told you work, home, family, relationships, dating, even just dating new people on a dating app or something. I was just talking to someone that was on a dating app. You can feel it. You can feel if they're not being authentic or if they're just being themselves, right? But if you have to open up, if you're not being authentic, you're going to attract people who are not authentic. So you got to open the truth of, you can't be judging people for not being authentic when you're not willing to do the same. Those are things that are coming up. So anything inauthentic will surface on its own. Okay. You don't need to call others out for their consciousness level. Hey, by the way, you're vibrating at a 50 right now, or a 125 right now. It's not real good. They don't care. They don't care because that's where they're at, and it's okay. So don't ask why they're doing this or why they're doing that. Why are they being angry or hateful or blaming or scorning? Because their vibration is below that line. That's it. And when it appears in your visual field, get ready, guys. If it triggers you, I want you to open your mind to the trigger. And it's highly likely a trigger of a younger experience. It's most likely not now, especially all of you on this call. You're all evolved conscious souls. You're all expanded consciousness. You're all incredible, beautiful lighthouses that are amazing. So that's the gift, right? So if they're triggering something, I want you to say, okay, so what are you feeling when you got triggered? And is it the same thing, right? And is it pulling you into their pain? So are you feeling the same thing they're feeling? Is it pulling you into their pain, anger, hate, blame, or scorn? Or, so are you just feeling their stuff? Or get ready. Or is it your own inner unfinished business, which is these planets that I just told you are pulling on you, and you're having the same battle within? This is called mirroring, right? When you're mirroring what you see. And if you're staying there with them and you're struggling and you can't get out of it, then it's you projecting it onto others so you can avoid responsibility for your own inner battle. So what you watch, if it doesn't hold you there very long, it's just going, oh, that's right. So if the mirror doesn't match your authentic self, it's not going to trigger you long at all. And I've said this to a lot of people, this whole victim and lack mentality state that a lot of people are in, it's not really getting much to me. It doesn't seem to flare me up much. I have super amount of compassion for those wounded in some way. And when that happens, I don't like, oh my God, and go down there with them. I literally in my mind imagine that I send them love and angels immediately to wrap their angel. I like imagine the angel wings are wrapping their wings around them and protecting them for whatever, because it's not my journey. That's all you can do, right? And so for me, it's going to be different than, as I explained to all of you, what's going to come up. For me, it was the health stuff that was triggering me. And so then I had to go, okay, well, why is this triggering me? What is this about? When did it show up in my youth? Same thing when I was young. And it was, how do I take back my health? And how do I be more selfish? Because I'm not great. I wasn't great at that. I was always giving of myself, and it'll suck the life out of you. And so now, how to be more attentive to my own needs, that's a word I have to work on. People hear that word selfish. That's so bad. It's not bad. I teach you all to be selfish right now. You cannot have any leeway other than being selfish on filling up your wounds, your shadows, and anything that is triggering you, you go here. Do not go out there. Okay? So is that crazy? I mean, this is something when we think of it's one thing and it's not what is triggering one person. I want you all to hear on this call, what's triggering you is not triggering your neighbor. You think it is, it's not. It's something much deeper and it's something much younger. Okay? So it's funny, I want you all to understand this is that, yes, I teach this, but it appears for me as well, none of us are exempt and we're not going to get out of this. Okay. I'm also a huge advocate of practicing what you preach. It's a huge piece for me. I do everything probably extreme that I teach all of you. So everything that I do to all of you, it's probably like times 10 that I deliver to all of you. Yes, I'm not as hard on all of you as I am on myself. Why? Because I want you all to lighten up. I want you all to be light and joy and wake up to this lighter experience of existence. It's important to me. Um, here's the big topic that the universe is pressuring everyone on the planet to address. Okay. It's a choice if you do or do not live authentically. And authentic is as simple as that. Okay. Asking yourself, are you living your authentic truth? Because every time I have a private client and I ask them and they'll tell me immediately, nope, or immediately, I really am. But I feel like I'm in conflict with everyone else who wants me to live something else besides my truth. You know your truth. Stay there, be there. And just because people are poking at you, that's just because they're struggling right now. You can't fix them. Right? And so what does it mean for you to live authentically? Okay, number one, avoid looking to others for answers. And I don't mean like not reading and self-help and showing up these courses and stuff and asking it how it wakes you up. But I'm saying stop looking to others for answers outside of you to give you a map of your life. You know who you want to be when you grow up. I make fun of my husband a lot. Like, he's a builder and he gets kind of nerdy on it and I love him for it, but I struggle with some of the stuff he wants to talk about because it's boring. And he knows I think that, but then there are other things that he does that just fascinate me beyond measure. It's not always your journey to care how someone else facilitates their truth and their journey. Okay, so that's number one. Avoid looking for others to give you answers that you already know. Write them down first, then ask, what do you think about my thoughts or ideas? Okay, so that's number one. Number two, ego is the people pleaser and ego is only along for the ride. This is why we are given free will. Divine source, yes, you all come down with I told you, a tattooed blueprint on what your purpose is, what your karma is, what your hot spots, what your challenges are going to be. But you also come in with this beautiful, vibrant, gorgeous, amazing blessing of a life. You are all perfect. And so your ego, if it's pleasing other people, it's people pleasing for a reason, because it's trying to give everybody else what they want. And my answer is that you have free will to make a choice to live your truth. So that's number two. Number three, living inside of yourself to live your truth. Your soul knows the path. And if not, you're going to feel uncomfortable and discord, which is non-resonance. Okay. That's how simple this is. If you feel discord or uncomfortable, you just have to ask yourself, okay, I'm not living my truth right now, am I? And so anytime anything in the external world that's happening right now and you're watching or environment, for me, if I get pulled into it, I'm like, that's not my truth, because my truth is let live and let live. They're going to experience the journey they have free will to make. And all of us have that option. So what two things can you incorporate to live your truth today, every day from this point forward? Okay, so these are my two tips. These are my current personal actions. And so I thought I'll just share with you guys what I'm doing to stay centered and strong. So number one, I'm on a 30-minute now plan. So the 30-minute now plan is I'm literally focusing on what I'm doing for the next 30 minutes and nothing else. And then I move to the next action and then 30 more minutes. It's living in the now. Okay. Dawn has a very big challenge of living into the future. Like, so all this stuff that's going on with everybody and these retrogrades and all that, when stuff shows up and pulls me, it's tough for me because I have to come back to here. I never go back into the past. I will review it, but I'm not a big fan of staying there. I'm always looking for solutions into the future, but that's polarized again. Right now is where y'all want to be for you. What can you do right now? And I mean, if you're typing something, type it for 30 minutes. And then if you need to go 30 more, keep going. If it's for 6 hours, do that for 30 minutes at a time. If If you're eating, eat for 30 minutes and eat. Don't look at your computer or your phone or do multiple things. Do that thing. If you're reading a book, give yourself 30 minutes. If you're exercising, try not to multitask. Do that thing for you for 30 minutes. And then you're going to start staying less polarized and getting a little bit more into the now. Okay. Number 2, to keep yourself to living your truth is to be honest. This is going to be tricky in the current energy flowing. Okay. So fake it till you make it. I know a lot of you have heard this phrase and it never made sense to me. I'm the sign of truth. So maybe that's why for me, I struggle with it because I don't believe in it. I think people want to know. I think people truly want to know if it's supposed to suck sometimes. And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. It is supposed to suck sometimes. Sometimes life is gonna suck. And it's about actions and not feelings, right? And so that's how you get out of polarizing, right? If you have a low vibration feeling and you dip, as we talked about, sometimes we're gonna dip on this map of consciousness into a low vibration of anger and resentment and whatever it is, blame, shame, guilt, whatever, apathy, okay? And you dip and you have a low vibration feeling. You can admit it and then ask, what action, okay? It's about actions and not feelings. What action is closest to the middle where I can just focus for 30 minutes and that's it? What action can I take? For me, it's reading. And I had to limit myself on 30 minutes because again, I can lose myself for hours at a time and just get lost in the book. And that's not wrong either. Yet I just want to be productive, but I also know sometimes we all get pulled into places we shouldn't be, and we need to push ourselves back into something that can give us. So being honest with yourself and saying, am I really being honest with the people around me, or am I faking it? Okay. I know this is going to sound weird to you because I'm not a big fan of healing, even though healing work is what is important to people. But I want you guys to stop doing the healing work because I just don't think any of you are broken. None of you are broken. You're not broken. You're already whole and perfect and complete. That's the puzzle piece I'm talking about. All right. You are all whole and complete. Unfinished business is where peace is, right? That's completion. And so complete what you came to do. The authenticity will come out. It's different for everyone. And when you work on you, others can feel your honest authenticity. And I don't know how to make this any more simple for you guys than that. Okay, so let me go over the tips of the night. And then if anyone wants to throw me questions in the chat or any questions regarding consciousness, vibration, what's happening right now about authenticity and what's happening. So that tonight's tips, what we covered. Number 1, are you feeling your entire past surfacing or generations? Think of it that way, okay? Of your past surfacing to release. And what beliefs can you allow to die? Yeah, see, a lot of you are feeling this, and I am too. So that's why I'm asking you all. That's a tip for tonight. If you're feeling it, generations of what you've watched, generation after family member doing the same thing, and you can go, oh my goodness, I'm repeating that. All you have to do is go, okay, cool. I'm it. I'm the one that cuts this family chain so I can start a new chain. Okay, happy chain. Number 2, are you willing to be pulled to a polarized emotion that locks you out of being compassionate? Are you aware, of being pulled? Because if you're not aware of it, that's what's getting us upset. Like, well, I don't understand. I'm here. And you don't even know you got pulled. So we have to be aware of going, wait. I'm at 30 minutes of getting back to neutral. What would keep me centered in peace? Okay, so ask yourself, am I aware of getting pulled to a polarized place, or can I be in neutral? For everyone and everything in every environment at all times. Okay, and then number 3 tip, inauthenticity is being revealed. It's just being revealed left and right. And you can watch people And you're going to see this start happening. You don't need to be the revealer. So you don't need to be the whistleblower. Let me tell you this. You know how bad they are. You know what they did. Do you know what happened? Do you know how bad this is? I guarantee you it will hurt the person plenty without your help. Practice what you preach. All right. That's really, really, really important right now. And that's what the entire collective is being asked to do. If you're not being authentic with anyone, it's going to get revealed because all this stuff from the past is going, look, don't you remember you did this and you remember did that? So you're going to go blame you-who over here for their inauthenticity. You can't do it. And that's important. So including within your own family. It's actually more so within your own family right now. But some of you are going to work now. And so you're picking it up in those two areas, right? At home with your spouse, or let's say your live-in relationship. Maybe you're not married actually, but someone you're in a relationship with, or your family members that, again, aunt, sister, uncle, brother, mother, father, anyone in that family chain, it's showing up. Okay. And so their inauthenticity, they want to be authentic and they want to be their true self, but they're afraid of judgment. Everyone is. And they have to see it in their own self, in their own words, in their own moment. And it's not for each of you to go and tell people their vibration is wrong. It's just vibration, guys. And again, if you need to ping me, PM me, private message me, if you want the consciousness map I use. Again, you all know my map is a little consolidated compared to David Hawkins' bigger map. He has a lot more on his map. I just think mine is needed to be a little more condensed. Okay. So tonight I'm going to leave you with the question. Ready? What can you do to not stay in a low vibe emotion when you dip below there for a few minutes? And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're going to watch something. You're going to talk to someone, a family member, as someone was just saying on both of on YouTube and the Zoom. A family member is going to trigger you. And how long are you going to stay there with them? Or are you going to go, oh, that's right. This is a vibration and they're pinging or they're resonating at the C chord, and I'm going to resonate at the D chord. Or, ooh, I'm with them. I think I'm going to stop resonating with C and I'm going to go to D. It's that simple. Okay. And then number two, what does living your authentic self mean to you? I don't mean your authentic self is to go out and badmouth and hurt people, because that's not authentic for anyone. You all came here and I can look at all of your astrology charts and all of your energy charts and go, look, you have blessings that I don't have. You have talents and gifts that I don't have. Go use them. That's being authentic. That's you being in your amazing, kind of beautiful, authentic self. And then going, but it's really not that big of a deal. I do it all the time. I see these things from this big higher level. I forget that all of you forget to go there. And I'm up hanging out in, like I said, outer space and other dimensions all the time. And then I forget you forget to go there because I only reminded you once, yet that is where I live. So I don't want you to go getting yourself like, why am I not doing this right? Because you're doing it perfect. You're all perfect and you're all expressing perfectly and you're all acting perfectly and you're doing exactly what you need to do. And you're going to find that right now, it's going to pop up from these 6, count them, 6 planets in retrograde. Not for a long time. They're not going to overlast long as the 6, but it is almost a 2-week window, week and a half, 2 weeks, that all 6 of them are there, and during a solar eclipse. So I'm going to give you guys the last 5-10 minutes. If anyone wants it, they're welcome to put their hand up and or throw me questions in the chat, and I will address it right now and or pull you up. It totally is fine. One of the questions popping up, so let me answer this one. When was the last time so many planets retrograded together? Okay, this lady, I knew she was going to call me on this. I knew she'd want to know this. I don't know. It's been a long time. like a lot of years, 20, 30, 40, 50, way, probably even more than that. It's a lot. This isn't like every year or two. This is a very, what we call consolidated amount of planets going backwards. We had this happening in December, just not as many during an eclipse. And we didn't have 6 of them. I think there were 5 or 4 or 5 at the time. So this happened last December, which is why they're going to break apart again come October, November. And once that break apart happens, that's when you're all going to feel the, okay, like, and it, again, you wouldn't feel comfortable. You would all feel it. What I'm trying to say is you would all feel it if they all snapped and went forward out of retrograde at the same time. It's too abrupt and it's too uncomfortable. You slowly have made your way into looking into the past. Now it's going to give you some time to heal whatever wounds that you don't want to see. And believe me, everyone comes to me and says, no, I've worked on it. I'm good. You guys you're blowing smoke up my ass, because it's not going to happen with me. I've done this for so long, for 25 years, that every time someone tells me, no, I'm good, I've healed it all. Yeah, so have I. And it still shows up. So, she made a good point, is when does this keeps happening, but at different levels, at different times, for different reasons. All we're doing is crumbling a foundation of old beliefs so that we can come together as a collective and be more loving and kind and compassionate. And you're all doing such a good job. You are all doing so brilliant and so amazing, and so growth, like the factor is like times 10. But we are an impatient culture. I've talked about this quite often, right? We're a very impatient culture. And when you're impatient, you want it now. And what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is, what are we in? It's going to go into July, August, September, October, 3 months, 4 months. This 4-month window of time, it's giving you some time to kind of scoot back, take a glance, and then redevelop a new game plan. And if we can not call it planets, if we cannot call it the universe, we cannot call it anything other than, okay, I'm getting some pressure here to shift. That's it. And if you can address that on a level of just emotions, literally, you don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to do anything. You just need to quit looking outside of yourselves. If you're all having a hard time with the world right now, turn your TV off. I cannot stress enough. Turn your TV off, because it has nothing to do with you right now. All it has to do with is your internal healing and what's showing up for you in your own world. Heal that. So that's hard for people. I got to know what's going on. You don't need to go know what's going on. Go to work, heal you, take care of you. That's you living authentically. Give your light, shine your DMT out, and watch what happens. It's going to be a brilliant new world, guys. And we're getting there, but it's a lot slower than all of you like. Not all of you, all of us. The whole planet is very impatient. And then the group, when I did generations for you all about a month ago, and I was explaining to you how Pluto is the deciding planet of what sets us up generationally, that group is the one that's crumbling everything right now. And so they're having a hard time. Those are your millennials. And I don't see millennials as negative. I really don't. But I also see them as struggling, because parents, you let them down. Whoever we are, we let them down and let them we made things too easy. And so now they're like, wait a minute, things are hard. Yeah. And it's freaking them out. Well, they'll learn, and you're going to help them learn, because you're going to get bright and light and go powerful. And they're going to go, oh, so you're okay. So it means if you're okay, I'm going to be okay too. That's it. Shine your DMT, open your heart, open the divine source consciousness. And remember, DMT is your inner molecule of your spirit molecule. And we can ignite that by simply just getting into a meditative download of consciousness of universal free will and saying, all right, if my free will is to go live my truth and purpose, what would that be right now? How would I help the planet if I was being me? not being what they want me to be, being me. And it's going to make a change, and things are going to shift, and it's going to be an impact that no one is really ready for, but they're excited for. They just don't know how to get there. So you're being given a slow drip of looking at things that you're going to let go, and you're going to let go of from your past, and you're going to move forward. Okay. So any more questions, guys? Yeah, no? Was this helpful? Did you guys see? Remember the topic of the day, the universe, the grid, my guides, one word, authentic. If you are not being authentic, I guarantee you, you're going to feel it from someone else. They're going to make you see where you're not showing your truth. You're not being truthful, or you're not being truthful for yourself. And that inauthenticity will come out when you're trying to accuse others of their wrongdoing and you're not being authentic yourself. Okay. So I'm going to end the call since we're a few minutes before the hour. I'm not getting any more questions, but I love you all. Again, I every day I go up on the grid and I look down on the planet, and all of you and everyone in my love and prayers, I blanket the planet with love and hearts and beauty and protection and love. And so you all get it every day times 10. And so just know you're all being protected. I send extra angels and extra protection your way. You're all going to be amazing beyond measure. Enjoy the journey. You know where to find me if you need any of the concepts or the tips or the map of consciousness I responded to tonight. Remember, there are 3 ways to get access to the information I keep sharing with you guys. Just remember, it's on my homepage. You just scroll down. You get to the toolbox. We have a toolbox for relationships. So if your relationships are strained right now, remember the toolbox will help you heal that on your own. You don't need me. Remember, there is the Truth Tribe. If you're not signed up, you can get in at least on the Zoom calls. Get yourself signed up so you can get onto the Zoom side of it, and I can actually bring you on as a guest. And number 3, we are starting again the Truth Talk Academy soon. So I'm playing around with that a little bit right now. We're going to redesign a little bit, and then we'll start it up again for group coaching at the next level. I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit for a lot of you. So those of you who are ready for next level, you let me know, and we're going to do it. All right. So brightest blessings to all of you, sending you love and all of my protection and all my joy and all my happiness and all my excitement for this new wave. It's going to be amazing. Hold on to your truth and everything will be awesome. Have a great night. Brightest blessings.